നിത്യപ്രകാശമായി നീയുള്ളിൽ വസിക്കുവാൻ സർവേശ്വരാ ഞങ്ങൾ കുമ്പിടുന്നു. വിജ്ഞാനദാഹത്താ പയസ്കിരി തന്നിലേക്കണി ചേർന്നണയുന്നോരി പൂക്കളിൽ ജ്ഞാനത്തിൻ സുഗന്ധവും നന്മതൻ കാന്തിയും സ്നേഹത്തിൻ മധുരവും നിറച്ചിടണേ. പ്രഭാതകിരണം തെളിയുന്ന വാനം പ്രപഞ്ചനാഥ നിൻകരവിരുതല്ലോ നിത്യപ്രകാശമാ നീയുള്ളിൽ വസിക്കുവാൻ സർവേശ്വരാ ഞങ്ങൾ കുമ്പിടുന്നു.
Now, I would like to invite Ms. Jinsimol Joseph, Assistant Professor of the Department of Computer Science, to welcome our guests.
A very warm good morning to all. Today, we are on the 9th day of ILLUMINISMO 2021 in the international webinar series on the emerging trends in interdisciplinary sciences and social sciences. And this morning is organized by the Department of Computer Science. First of all, I welcome Lieutenant Dr. Thomas Correa, Head Department of Computer Science, who organizes this program, and he is always with us for encouraging and motivating the staff as well as students. Welcome, sir. Next, I welcome our resource person, Mr. Aravinda Boyapati, the Intelligent Automation Leader, Johnson & Johnson, USA. And today he will handling the topic, the intelligent automation using artificial intelligence and machine learning and how it impacts future workforce. I'm sure this session will be beneficial to the participants. On behalf of St. Baisden College, I heartily welcome, sir. Next, I welcome Gobika K, who will deliver out of thanks for this program. And next, I welcome teaching and non-teaching staff of our college for organizing such a wonderful webinar series. Finally, I welcome students, faculties, research scholars, and all other participants to this webinar, and wish you all a very fruitful session ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms., for those warm words of welcome. Now I would like to invite Lieutenant Dr. Thomas Correa, the Head of Computer Science Department, to introduce the resource person for this session.
A warm good morning to you all. Now I am introducing our resource person, Mr. Aravinda. He is an intelligent automation, digital transformation and incubation leader, bringing forward transformational product innovations in order to enable successful business outcomes. He has been an IT leader with over 21 years of experience in enabling the achievement of measurable business outcomes. He has specialized in delivering advanced technology results using iterative and agile models enabled by UX, blockchain, IoT, artificial intelligence, machine learning, hybrid mobile apps, and cloud-native platform across several verticals. He has extensive management knowledge in design thinking, large and global agile application development, continuous innovation, compliance, and life cycle of IT operation. He has managed, designed, developed, and deployed enterprise-level global IT solution, validated and regulatory environments across Fortune 15 countries, multinational companies. He is a global innovation leader in setting the vision, developing the strategy, and executing towards it. He has managed global development and support teams, establishes and maintains strong internal and external strategic partnerships, develops strategic solution right from ideation through creation. He is globally networked across several industries and leverages his network to find emerging technologies and enterprise, allowing for companies to innovate, increase productivity, and digitalize business process. He is a global technology manager successfully delivered ERP global project for Brazil, Mexico, Canada, North America, Europe, US, Japan, India, China, Mexico, Chile, Ecuador, Argentina, Uruguay, and Peru, etc. Mr. Boyapati, it's an honor to have you as our guest and extend you a very warm welcome from all of us here, St. Pius College. Welcome you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Skaria. The session is now going to commence. Mr. Boyapati, you may please go ahead.
Thank you so much for all the warm welcomes. And also, great to see that all of you are here and meeting you virtually. Even though we are in the pandemic, but we still continue to learn, whatever the ways available to us. But nice meeting you all, and thanks for the invitation. Okay, so today's topic is the intelligent automation using AI and ML and how it impacts future workforce. Before we get into the actual topic, a little bit about me, what I do. I am the IT leader by profession. I've been working in IT for over 21 plus years. I'm currently based out of New Jersey. I'm also the founder of My Green Village, which is a nonprofit, non-governmental organization, which helped to promote the clean, green, sustainable villages and the smart villages. I also support digital education across India through the D-Hub initiatives, which primarily bringing the digital knowledge to the common man. We recently launched an app for the kids who encourage them to collect the seeds and then basically send it to the seed bank. I spend a lot of time in farming and beekeeping. That's some of my hobbies. I also love to brew kombucha, which is a healthy drink, with my daughter. And also I have a dog whose name is Max. He's actually sitting next to me. Okay, so let's get started with introducing the topic, intelligent automation. This is a new trendy term you might heard across internet. What I'm trying to do, at least in the next 45 minutes or so, is that to introduce the topic, give you some real world examples of why it is such an important topic and how the AI and ML works alongside of the AI. So intelligent automation is anything you can automate, which is a repeatable process, which is typically carried out by the humans. So in the current industry or in enterprises, there are lots and lots of manual activities we do, and the goal is to automate. Intelligent automation, it combines with the lots and lots of automation technologies. It's not a typical one technology. It's a combination of multiple technologies. We plug them together, and then we use them to improve and transform the business process. And some of the IA solutions in the IA spectrum, which includes the desktop automation, robotic process automation, intelligent agents, virtual agents. You also hear machine learning, deep learning, neural network, natural language processing. These are some of the key technologies we get to use in the intelligent automation space. So before we look into this complex jargon of technologies, let's try to understand what the automation means. I'm going to start with a simple example, the different automation which I am currently enabled at my very own house in New Jersey. So to start with, as you can see, I did list it out a couple of different digital stuff here, starting from my robotic pool cleaner. Every day morning, I wake up and I go to my pool and I have to clean a lot of leaves, which falls into the pool. So I recently installed a robotic pool cleaner, which basically it works on an automated way. It recharges through the solar panels and it pretty much cleans everything when I wake up, and my pool is pretty much clean. The other good example is the thermostat. So I don't have to go and increase and decrease my temperatures, because in New Jersey, we go to the -degrees temperatures at times in winter. So by automating the thermostat, I can actually control that what kind of temperatures I need to maintain in my house. We also have the doorbell, so I don't have to go to my front door if somebody comes in. So I can talk to them while I am in whichever the floor in my house. We also have another pool cleaner, which actually cleans the bottom of the pool. If you're thinking of a 15-foot deep pool, to go into the pool and clean it, it's quite difficult task. So we rely on an automatic pool cleaner, which cleans the floor. We also have the Alexa device, which is Alexa voice. It primarily used pretty much for everything and anything, similar to the Siri and Siri device on your iPhones. It allows you to control all the different digital technologies in your home, starting from the smart lights, even asking my cleaning robot to go and clean the house. So it pretty much controls all the operations in my house, including calling out my kids, whichever the room they are in, if they need to come for the lunch or breakfast. So we just ask Alexa to send the voice. I also have the humanoid robot, which I procured a couple of years back. His name is Now. So he can actually talk, walk, and he can pretty much do everything what human can do. We use the Now just for entertainment purposes, but it's a great way to learn about the different humanoid robots, how they work. Lastly, we install the smart lights. So it's primarily to save the energy, but the real use is that you can actually control the smart lights. Even you leave the house, you have to stop your lights. You can pretty much use the app to control it. So if you look at just this, my home automation, you are using different tools and technologies to pretty much automate everyday tasks, which I normally do it myself. Now, actually, I can focus on the better things, more valuable things than doing this manual tasks on a daily basis. Let's take this example and then try to apply this to our business or our organizations. So I'm going to introduce you to primarily 4 different automation technologies, which I had privilege to work in the recent years. One is being the RPA, robotic process automation. So it is primarily used whenever there is a task, a human task, which is a repeatable task in an organization. Take an example of data entry jobs or clerk jobs, or somebody who simply take an Excel and update into a system. So those kind of jobs actually can be replaced by the RPA bots. So when I say a bot, it could be a bot is a piece of software which actually runs and does the same work as the human do. And then the next thing is the computer vision. Computer vision is also one of the key technology enabler in which you can do many things, starting from running the autonomous cars. In one of my previous slide, I actually showed you the Tesla car, which I currently drive, which is fully autonomous. It understands its surroundings. Using the computer vision, it actually measures the distance between the cars nearby, and it controls the speed, and it pretty much does everything, right? But computer vision as such, it's not just applying to the cars. You can actually take this and apply to different streams within your organization. For example, if you have the large sets of documents coming into emails, right? If somebody has to scan all those documents, you can actually use the OCR, optical character recognition, to scan all those documents, and you can automate the entire process. By doing so, you can save the thousands and hours of manual work, and you can let your employees to do better things. We also have the artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning. Again, you can actually use this 3 different technologies along with NLP, AI, and you can enable further an automation using the AI, which I will talk in briefly in a minute. So what I do at my work, I want to take you guys to the journey of really understanding these technologies, how each one of these technologies is being used at my organization. I'll start with the Genie the Genius. It's our internal name. You probably don't find this anywhere in the internet. So I am the chief architect and the product owner for the Genie the Genius, which is a conversational AI platform or a chatbot platform, which is used to create a chatbots. When I say chatbots, right, we are all known to do the chatting on a daily basis through WhatsApp or Facebook. But when you go to a certain websites in recent days, you notice that they're actually adding a chatbot there pretty much in every website you see, starting from the banking to e-commerce, everywhere. You think you're talking to a real person behind the scenes, but 90% of the chances that you're actually talking to a bot, which is managed through an AI and artificial intelligence. So let me start with an example of Genie the Genius, how we at J&J do our deploy our chatbots and how chatbots really work. Okay, so this is our internal site. So this is our internal chatbot store. So my job is to build, deploy, and manage the chatbots. So we are currently working on many chatbots for different departments within our organization. Starting from Ask Genie, this is our very own chatbot, which I'll show in a minute. We have the Eva chatbot, we have Lexi chatbot, where there are various chatbots here. Each chatbot have a different purpose. For example, the Lexi chatbot is primarily used in Brazil. It primarily works with the legal department. So in the past, the legal department, they used to receive a lot of questions and they have to answer each and every questions in a manual way. Now, in place of a humans, the Lexi chatbot is the one we actually Okay, so let me show you the Ask Genie chatbot. So as soon as you get into the chatbot, your chatbot actually knows that you logged in. It knows your name. It also gives you the warm welcome message. It also tells you that the key items which chatbot can handle. So let's start with what is about Genie the Genius. Okay, so now the person who is actually answering to me is not a human, right? So it's actually a chatbot which is going to answer my question. So as you can see it here, I asked what is about the Genie the Genius, and it tells me the answer. It took a few seconds, so I had to reinitiate that. And then I clicked on why conversational AI chatbots. So it's going to get me the answer, what is more relevant to my question. Let's take an example of more a question which actually requires a certain database call and then get me the J&J stock price. So in this case, so it actually pulled me the data of the stock price. I can actually also go and ask, what's the weather look like? Then the bot needs to know that which city I'm asking for. So bot is intelligent enough to know that, hey, you're asking for weather, but tell me what city you wanted to it for. So I'm just giving Chicago as an example. And let's see that if bot able to go and fetch the weather details from Chicago. I can even go ahead and ask some silly questions like allow me. So okay, so love isn't really my skill set. So as you can see it here, all the back and forth conversations which I am doing with Chatbot is actually answered by a piece of program, right, which is equipped with AI. In the behind the scenes, we have the machine learning, we have the artificial intelligence. All these technologies are glued together to make that the best experience possible to your end users. So let me also take a journey of how do you build the chatbots. I might not cover into the full extent, but I'm going to quickly show you that how we built and deploy the chatbots using the platform we built it internally. So this is called Bot Builder, and you pretty much enter all the details what you needed for your chatbot, and also the language. So this is very important. If you are deploying a chatbot, it should be able to capable of addressing all the languages, whatever is required, and also bot can support more than one language. So once you create a chatbot, then you'll have the tile, something like this. So let me go into the tile. So here you can actually see all the details about the chatbot. And one important thing is FAQs. FAQs is your question and answers. So think of that you born as a baby and you have the certain learning curve with your mom, dad, and your siblings and your family, and you learn something every day throughout your journey of the life. Same thing goes with the chatbot. When the chatbot is created, it doesn't know anything. You as an SME or a mom or dad has to train the chatbot with different Q&As, different answers, and then chatbot actually use the AI and ML to train and update its knowledge base. So there are many ways you can update it. The simplest thing is that you can actually upload an Excel with all the question and answers so that the bot get trained. You see this train button here. So when you hit this, this is the time actually it goes and train all the knowledge you updated with the chatbot. So this is how actually it answers all the questions. For example, in this Q&A set, I have all the different questions here. So let's say if you go and ask one of the question, hey, my Windows 7 product key won't verify, blah, blah, blah. So let's see if my bot able to answer that question. Okay, so it's supposed to get me the answer, but it also made a recommendation to different questions. There are a lot of different key things which get involved here, but the idea here is that you actually train your bot and you get the answers based on the training data you provided. We also enable the voice. Hello, how are you?
I don't know how to help you with that yet.
Okay, so how the voice works is that you actually train the chatbot, you enable the voice, whichever the language you pick, English, German, and Spanish. People hate to type nowadays. They rely on voice communication. That's the next big thing, right? Voice AI. That's another technology under intelligent automation. So anything you build and develop going forward should have an AI, some kind of a voice built into it, because particularly the millennials, you all are, hate to chat, right? Hate to type. So you want the things faster, you want the things better. So the voice is another great way to communicate with your system, right? You don't have to type a lot of things. You basically ask through the voice interface and you get the answers you want. So let me try one more time. Hello, how are you?
I am good.
Okay, perfect. So let me show you one more important thing. In the configuration, so this is where we choose a voice configuration. So here is the interesting thing. If I'm deploying this chatbot in India, I probably pick somebody with more close to an Indian accent like Ravi or Priya. Whereas if I'm deploying this in North America or anywhere in Europe, so I probably pick somebody, a Benjamin or Ryan or William, right? So now what you can see here is that you can do many things with your chatbot, right? You can control the different accent you want. So this is how AI works with your intelligent automation, right? So you can enable the voice, you can enable the different language, different skills, and then you can train your chatbot. So look, now let's take a look at how we create the dialogues. So a dialogue is nothing but a multi-turn conversations, like the two people talk to each other. So let's say, hey, I'm asking somebody, hey, where are you going? The person would say that New Delhi. Hey, what would you like to do there? And then say that, look, I'm probably going to visit these places. So what you call that whole conversation is the multi-turn conversation. So here we have a dialogue, which is nothing but a multi-turn conversation. You trigger the dialogue with the trigger phrases, and then you have the dialogue builder where you can actually design the dialogue. So this is all done internally, and you can actually drag and drop these different cards, and you design your entire flow of your conversation in your dialogue. So this is pretty much how the chatbot knows that what to ask, what to answer, and all that good stuff. So I'm just showing you just as an example, right? So, I mean, the idea is that at least to spark some ideas in your brain so that you can use this data to build something much cooler than this. So that's why I'm actually showcasing this demo to you. Okay, so that's the dialogue designer. So this is where we design the dialogues, and then behind the scenes, as I said, right? So if you go back to my chatbot again, so there is this train button. So when you hit the train button, it's actually what behind the scenes it's doing is that it's actually updating my machine learning model. It is taking all the data what I am providing from the bot builder, and it is building the machine learning model, and it is updating everything what is required for my bot to understand and answer the questions back. So this training would take a minute or so, but the idea is that this is how we build the chatbots. Chatbots are the great way to go. This is one of the technology you can invest and learn, and and it's going to be, it's a futuristic technology, right? So it's going to stay there for a long time. So this is one of the automation which I enable at Johnson & Johnson for our internal and external customers. So moving on to the topic, which is the next topic, AI ops. So you'll probably hear this as well. If you search Google, you'll find a lot of information about AI ops. This is also one of the key technology in the intelligent automation. What we do with AI ops, think of that you deploy a big application for enterprise-wide use or for your internal or external users. Once you deploy any application into production, so you are required to support it. So when you say support, you will have a lot of issues, right? Your end users would be creating tickets for you. You need to answer all those tickets. It's like you buy a car, you have a problem, you take to the car service, and they have to fix your problem. So the number of times you go, right? If you are under warranty, they have to take care of your car, right? They have to fix everything what you go there for. Same thing goes here. If you have an application, your users can create any number of tickets if they have any issues, right? And sometimes each ticket, you need to employ somebody, right? In at least at Johnson & Johnson, we have thousands of applications, right? We are a big enterprise. We are a $90 billion organization. We run thousands and thousands of applications. So at the end, we need some IT companies like TCS or IBM or Wipro or L&T. So these companies come and work for us, and they basically solve these tickets. When they solve these tickets, they're actually going to charge us per ticket. So again, there is a human involvement, if somebody create a ticket, somebody has to read the ticket and understand what's the problem statement is, and then they can go back and fix the issue, whatever it takes to fix it. Now, this is where the interesting thing happens. In place of a humans fixing the issues and attending the tickets, we actually use the AI, which is AI ops, means AI operations. So we deploy an AI tool, which actually understands what are all incoming tickets. It understands and thinks like a human. It goes and perform the action, what is required to fix the ticket, and then actually also update the system with the details that, okay, I fixed the issue, now please go and check it, right? So by doing so, think of this, right? In J&J, we have to deal with millions of tickets in a year. So think of that, each million, we have 1 million tickets. We spend $100 each. We are spending $100 million in a year. So by deploying the AI ops, our goal is to at least automate 40% of those tickets. So by doing so, we're actually saving almost $40 million, right? So this is where the intelligent automation, right? And also with the AI ops, right? Humans does take a time, right? They go to sleep, they eat, and they take vacations. Whereas your AI tool, which works 24/7, it doesn't sleep and it doesn't require to stop. So it continuously work even over the weekends. It doesn't need to take the holiday breaks. So it basically does much more work than the real humans, right? So that's where this AI ops is the next big thing, right? I think I definitely encourage you to guys look into it. Let me show you one or two quick demo of how the AI ops looks like. Okay, so the system I am showing you is the our internal system. What you're going to see here is that there are many things. I'm not going to cover all, but at least you get a sense of what it is. Okay, what you're seeing right now is that, as I said, that we do get millions of tickets get created in a year. So we have a lot of incoming tickets which are actually coming up every minute, right? Because we are a global company. Throughout the world, people are actually having issues with the applications we deployed, and they're actually creating all the tickets. So when the ticket comes in, my AI platform understands what the ticket is. I don't know why it's loading. Give me 1 second. Okay, as you can see it here, these are all the tickets which are actually handled by the which are going to handle by the AI platform in place of humans. So there's no human intervention here. It used to be the humans who are fixing these issues, all these tickets, what you are seeing right now, but these are actually going to now fix it by an AI solution. So as an example, it also predict that if there are any SLA missing, right? SLA means that SLA is the time you commit to your business. Within this time, you have to fix the issue. Let me click on this. So I'll show you some. So I'll take one request and I'll show you what exactly the AI solution does here, right? It actually understands the ticket, it does whatever it's supposed to do, and it closes the ticket, right? As a human do. I think I'm fetching the large volumes of data, so it's taking some time. Okay, let me do one quick refresh, come back again. Okay. Okay. So as you can see it here, this particular request, which is in success status, that means that AI actually handled this ticket. You can actually go and see the entire log, how this is actually handled. And as I said, right, so it does exactly the same process as a human does. And it actually closed all my ticket and it successfully executed the entire task, right? And think of this, if I had to give this to a human, right, I probably would be paying $100 for the same work. So when you're handling with millions of tickets, I think the AI can take a good amount of chunk of work in place of humans, right? That's an idea here. Okay, so let me go back to my presentation. Okay, so we are also working on another platform called MLOps. So this is also a new technology under, it's basically not directly involved with intelligent automation, but what it really does is that it enables all the data scientists or machine learning developers or model developers come under one platform and use that platform effectively to create your machine learning models, right? So end of the day, behind the AI, you are required to create a machine learning models or deep learning models. You need to train your data. You need to deploy your data. And you'll see in the next slides that different use cases where the AI and ML can help, right? So, but the idea is that MLOps platform is another interesting area where you can actually use to deploy your machine learning models effectively. The voice AI, as I said, right? So we are actually working on some of the voice technologies in place of mobile apps and websites. So that's the old generation. The new generation is anything you build has to have a voice integrated, like the one I gave an example in Genie. You can actually talk to the chatbot through the voice and you don't have to type or text. So likewise, you actually enable the voice AI to perform the same task and get the information you want. The next big thing is the NLPs. So natural language processing is also one of the key enabler in intelligent automation. So this is used particularly when you're dealing with large data sets and you want to investigate your data, right? So for example, you want to do the topic modeling. I want to understand that how my chatbot end users are feeling about using chatbot, right? Is the chatbot is able to answer it properly. So with the NLP tools, you can actually analyze all that large volumes of data. So this is also one of the key enablers in intelligent automation. So these are the 5 technologies I am currently responsible for, and they are big enough in terms of size, which does a lot of automations for our organization. Okay, so now in the last 30 minutes or so, I briefly talked about different AI technologies, and I also showcased some examples how these technologies are can be used or will be used. Now moving on to the second half of the topic, how intelligent automation impact our future workforce. So by now you must all realize that in the near future you're actually competing with the robots, right? When you go and apply for a job, for example, as a data clerk or doing the manual testing, or there's lots and lots of different areas which I'll show in a minute. But you are actually in a way competing with the robots, right? So it's not a physical robot you see, right? But it's a robot which works behind the scenes as a program. The examples I just showed are the classic examples, right? You now know that chatbots are pretty much taking the jobs of typically we do in the past with the call center jobs, or all those different people who engage in customer communication, right? So now bots are doing exceptionally well in the same space. So also how AI impacting different industries, right? If you take a retail, which is your e-commerce or shopping industry, or automotive or logistics or healthcare. So this is where I am currently working, right? So you have various capabilities which AI brings onto the table. For example, weather prediction. So weather prediction is pretty important for the retail industry. Why? Because, and our logistics industry, based on the weather conditions, your shipment might get delayed. So you might not able to ship your product on time to your end customers. By doing so, you actually lose the satisfaction from your customer. So how do you actually use the AI, which predicts, which takes your route, which you're shipping your product? It knows the weather conditions along the way and actually advance tells you that, hey, Arvind, so you might not able to ship this product because we detected a big thunderstorm in the middle of your way. So you better to reroute or do something else, right? Or get the products from a different location. So all these different things, what you see on the screen is very, very important, right? In order to run your business more effectively or smoothly. And I can talk about all this for hours, but for the interest of time, I'm only picking few examples, right? And the other good example from this is that spam filtering. So how many of you guys know that your current Gmail or whatever the emails server you're using, in the past, the spam filtering used to work based on the rules, right, which are defined by a software developer. But now all the spam filtering is actually taken care by your AI. Behind the scenes, there is a data scientist who actually deploy a lot of machine learning models to recognize what is spam versus not spam. So the AI actually intelligently knows, okay, this is your right email, I should send you to your inbox. This is another email, I should send it to your junk folder, right? So you can actually save a lot of time not reading your junk emails. AI is actually helping you behind the scenes to make those decisions, right? So all these are pretty important, what is there in this slide. So now moving on to the AI use cases, at least I can speak through a few details here. Chatbots, I briefly showcased that how the AI is getting used in the chatbots technology. In our organization, we're also working on the autonomous surgical robots. So you'll see in a near future, the robots are actually performing surgery, right? So J&J is pretty big in surgical robotics, also 3D printing. So we actually soon, deploying a lot of 3D printing technologies where actually J&J manufactured the knees and many of the body parts which are required in operations. In the past, we used to manufacture at our manufacturing centers. Now we're actually letting the doctors to print their own part they want in their labs, right? They don't have to come to our manufacturing facility. So lots and lots of emphasis on cognitive cybersecurity. You probably hear everyday news that like somebody is getting hacked or there is a ransomware attacks. I think I was hearing this morning that Accenture is actually having the ransomware attacks this morning. So now this is where the AI can be deployed, and many organizations are actually doing it, right? They use the AI to scan through all the different the logs, the data, which is incoming and outgoing, and knows that whether it is an attack, a real attack, or then actually they can make the right decisions along the way, right? In the past, I was also working with autonomous systems, so drones. So J&J has hundreds of manufacturing plants and warehouses. So one of the activity we do in our warehouses is a cycle counting. So we have to go and check count all our products on a weekly basis. It is a manual intensive. So we actually piloted a drone which actually goes and scan all the products in place of a human, and it actually reports back to our enterprise system. So these are some of the use cases. So you can actually the real AI use cases you can think of implementing using AI. Now, what's the job impact? And this is a very important slide, right? I actually took this from the World Economic Forum. As much as by 2030, 375 million jobs, which is equal to the entire North America, right? So people are going to switch to a jobs in the result of AI or digitalization or automation, right? In a way, it is pretty scary, right? But you know, with the world, the way it is changing, we all have to change, right? Our skills, our jobs, you know, are going to change. So you are expected to face this. And there is also interesting articles in World Economic Forum. What are the jobs that are actually going to get replaced in next 5 to 10 years? So you don't find those jobs anymore if you're mistakenly in that side of the job or a wall. So you have to start thinking of upgrading your skills and then moving on to the better safe job, right? Okay, how do I get started with AI and ML, right? My son, who is currently in 9th grade, actually followed the same path, and he's actually working as a data scientist in one of the company as a summer intern. He's 13 years old. Okay, and it's not a rocket science, right? If with a little bit of interest and the math concepts and some programming languages, you can actually become a data scientist, right? There are nowadays everything is learned through internet, so you have a good amount of online trainings that are available. So this is the path I would strongly recommend you to apply and become a data scientist, right? That helps you to get ready for your future job and also your career. Okay, what are some of the key takeaways, right? As you can see, based on what I just spoke in the last 45 minutes, AI is going to stay here, right? There's nothing is going to, it's not going to go away. It's going to stay here. You're going to see more and more applications, more and more things are actually going to be leveraging AI. You don't get surprised that your first boss is going to be a robo boss. So it's not far from reality, right? So once you join any organization 10 years from now, in place of reporting a human boss, you'll have a robo boss who is actually going to welcome you, who is going to assign you the work. He's going to check your work. He's going to approve your expense reports or whatever the stuff which you submit. But he's going to be very intelligent like a human, right? He doesn't get biased to the way humans do, right? Humans are biased, right? We make a biased decisions, whereas your future robo boss actually looks at your work and basically award you with whatever you are capable of, right? You also expected to have a co-worker as the bots, AI bots. This is again, there is a process that some part of the process is get handled by the humans, but again, some process will be taken over by the bots, right? And you expect to work alongside of the bots, whether it is a cobot, humanoid bot, chatbot, but doesn't matter. But you are going to work with some bot or another, one form or another, in your near future. So, and you may fall in love with them, right? So, like I do. That's all I wanted to share today. Let's do a quick time check, and I think we still have a time. If I'm not mistaken, another 9 minutes. I can take any Q&As in the chat.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that session. It was truly informative. The resource person will now be answering any queries the attendees may have. So kindly post them in the chat box or directly ask them with your mic turned on.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Boyapati. I am Sinos Kariyachan. I am a computational biologist and a bioinformatician, actually. I first of all thank you very much for your informative and insightful talk about the scope and application of this AI in future force, and it was a really wonderful session. Thank you very much. And my question is, being a biology person and a computational biologist, do you have this Johnson and Johnson developed any disease prediction models or diagnostic model where this AI is being a part of that particular model? And that is my first question. And second one is, what is your this AI in terms of this AI, and what is the vision of Johnson and Johnson in this COVID-19 pandemic for disease surveillance or any similar disease management program, or predicting the disease spreadability, or any such kind of things? What is your thought, and can you put some light on these aspects?
First of all, thank you for the wonderful question you posted to me, and I'm glad you asked that question. So two parts of the question. The first question that you asked me is that do we use any machine learning models or predictive models in our actual diseases? Or yes, our R&D department actually use with the help of lots of data scientists. By the way, J&J is pretty big on data science. Okay, that's where we're putting all our efforts into. So we have hundreds of data scientists across J&J working with many departments. I'll give one example that the R&D department actually all our different components we use different for the better scientific term, different components which they use to make the medicines, right? So we have actually have the machine learning models with everything of those components. Let's say we are making a new medicine out of these existing components. We actually take this data from this machine learning models, we go across the internet, and we actually also gather a lot of different newsletters or articles or thesis which is published by everyone, and we actually identify any risk associated with this component upfront, right, using the help of AI and ML. By doing so, right, you're not actually going all the way to the tail end and found out that, okay, this medicine is not going to work on humans, right? So you actually do a lot of those similar predictions. That's one example. But again, we are using the data scientists and these machine learning and AI across J&J with all verticals, let it be supply chain or R&D or a corporate, right? And we are making the meaningful decisions out of it. Now, your second question is, the J&J, as you all know that we do have our own vaccine. I am actually part of the vaccine deployment project. And like me, there are hundreds of thousands of people actually worked very hard in the last year and a half to bring our vaccine out. I'm glad I'm part of that whole project. If you go to the Google and search how J&J is actually using the AI and machine learning to speed up the overall vaccine deployment, right, to the mass markets like US and Europe, and now we're actually launching it in India. There are great examples. It talks about that how we are actually employed AI and machine learning to speed up the overall delivery of that medicine, because it used to take a decade to deploy a vaccine, right? Now we actually did it in a year and a half time, right? So which itself tells that, okay, there are some great tools and technologies being employed in the process to achieve that pace and the speed to get this product out within that reasonable time.
Thank you, Boyapati.
You're welcome.
Sir, I have one doubt. I am Dr. Jiji Kumari from Department of Economics. Okay. Then you told about artificial intelligence is creating more job opportunities. Okay, one suggestion that you made, but actually this technological innovations are creating two effects, that is productivity effect as well as displacement effect. You know, that is the displacement effect, that is as a result of this technological innovation directly displacing workers from the task they are previously they are performing. Okay, then what about the situation regarding this artificial intelligence? Is there such kind of a displacement effect?
Yeah, great question, and the right question from the academist, right? So this is I mean, I always ask this question to myself, right? With the result of whatever I am building within my organization, is there any job we're replacing, right? Change is one organization. We have a large principles around the credo, right? We do care about our employees and moms and nurses, and so we have a big credo we follow. It's not that our goal is to replace the jobs. Think of this, right? I go into office and I have to work for 8 hours tirelessly to do a task. Now I'm actually giving an AI as a helper to the same employee, which can help him to finish the work on time, and actually he can go and spend the time with his family, right? So in the beginning of my slide, right, I actually told what I do. I do gardening, I do beekeeping, I have to spend time with my dog. If I have to do all this manual task, which I was asked to do in my organization, if I have no help from others, probably the AI is my best buddy who can actually help me to do my work more efficient and faster. I can go and do something else and spend time with my family, right? I think the culture we are actually, it's not that, in generally speaking, right, in economics terms, yes, so there is a job displacement, but with the times, people has to, upgrade their skills. Like the technologies we all worked, we know, like 10 years back, they're no more there, right? We all upgraded our skills. We moved on to a next generation tech, like our phones, right? You actually moved from the old dumb terminal phones to the smartphones. Same thing happens with the AI, right? People will adopt these things. Actually, people would love and enjoy in more time by taking the help of AI.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
If there are any other queries, please do come forward. Okay, I'm assuming that there are no more queries. Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking the time for answering our queries. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Gobiga K to deliver the word of thanks.
Respected teachers, esteemed guest of today's webinar, Mr. Aravinda Boyapati, coordinators, and all my dear friends, good morning to all. Gratitude is fair as blossom that springs from the heart. It's an honor and privilege given to me to express gratitude to the dignitaries assembled here. If I take the words from Albert Einstein, curiosity has its own reason for existing. Our curiosity to learn has given a good opportunity for us today to understand, and resource person, Mr. Aravinda, has taken us to the next level of AI and ML. On behalf of each and every individual who attended this session, I express a heartfelt gratitude to our resource person, Mr. Aravinda Boyapati, who honored this program with his deep knowledge in this subject. Thank you, sir. Thank you for spending your valuable time from your busy schedule. Next, I would like to thank our principal, sir, Mr. Biju Joseph, for supporting and keeping us motivated. It's my immense pleasure to thank our HOD, Lieutenant Dr. Thomas Correa, for providing immense support using the resource person for the event. Now, I express my gratitude to Genie Miss from Computer Science Department for giving the welcome note. And also, I must mention a deep sense of appreciation to Genie Miss, our technical assistant, Mr. Sinoy Lucas, and the entire crew of Computer Science Department. I also thank all the teaching, non-teaching staffs, the invitees, and all my dear friends. Last but not least, I just want to convey a heartfelt thanks to Jen from SEC. I thank all who took a great effort in making this webinar a grand success.
Thank you, Ms. Gobiga. Thank you for your kind words. Finally, I request all attendees to kindly stand for a national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you all. Thank you for attending the session. The session has now concluded.